Australia pulling out of their 3-match ODI series against Afghanistan that was set to take place in the UAE in March seemed like a decision that at most would cost Australia some Super League points and maybe, just maybe, shine a bit of a spotlight on the rather uncomfortable reality that Afghanistan, who are currently being ruled by the Taliban once again, are going through. However, as things stand, it is set to become something of a war among the cricketing community, with Afghanistan on one side and the rest of the cricketing fraternity, including the ICC, on the other, and it could very well force cricket's governing body into a very awkward position, and what's worse, put Afghanistan in a rather awkward situation when it comes to this entire debate and the kind of attitude that the Afghanistan Cricket Board, as well as some of their players, including a superstar like Rashid Khan, who's of course their white ball captain, have adopted to this entire thing. Now, let's quickly take a look at the reactions before we delve into why exactly it is this is such an issue to begin with. Now, before Rashid Khan, you had Naveen ul Haq, who would actually announce on Twitter that he's going to be pulling out of his participation in the Big Bash League. He said very clearly, it's time to say that I won't be participating in the Big Bash after this being, of course, Australia's pulling out of the series, until they stop these childish decisions. That's how they went about with the one-off test and now the ODIs as well. When a country is going through so much, in place of, or instead of being supportive, you want to take the only reason of happiness from them. Hashtag CA, which is of course a reference to Cricket Australia. Now, Naveen ul Haq said very clearly that, look, I don't like the fact that the Cricket Australia has taken such a decision, and therefore I am not going to be participating in the Big Bash League. Naveen ul Haq's word, even if it doesn't carry as much weight, however, there is the word of a certain superstar by the name of Rashid Khan, whose words carry a lot of weight, and he's posted this on his Twitter as well as Instagram accounts. He posted a screenshot of a note and he captioned it, "Cricket, the only hope for the country, keep politics out of it," whilst also tagging Cricket Australia, the BBL, and the official Twitter of the Afghanistan Cricket Board. And the note reads, "I'm really disappointed to hear that Australia have pulled out of the series to play us in March. I take great pride in representing my country, and we have made great progress on the world stage. This decision from CA sets us back in that journey. If playing versus Afghanistan is so uncomfortable for Australia, then I wouldn't want to make anyone uncomfortable with my presence in the BBL. Therefore, I will be strongly considering my future in that competition." Now, Rashid Khan has been one of the star attractions of the BBL. In fact, it's a star attraction of any league that he plays for. So him saying this really does have some sort of an impact and does show that the Afghanistani players are very united and very disappointed in the decision. And in fact, even the Afghanistan Cricket Board's statement on this entire matter was very strongly worded. In fact, just take a look at the tweet where they put out the link to that statement. They said very clearly, CA's statement to withdraw Afghanistan ODIs is unfair and unexpected. The ACB is extremely disappointed by the pathetic decision of Cricket Australia, while tagging Cricket Australia, to withdraw from Afghanistan's ODI series in March, and will officially write to the ICC, tagging them, over the issue. So that means that the ACC or the ACB or the Afghanistan Cricket Board is quite clearly prepared to actually take this matter to the ICC, saying that we're disappointed in Cricket Australia pulling out of the series and we intend making this an international issue. Truth be told, that does Afghanistan more harm than good. Why exactly is that the case? Well, quite simply because Afghanistan, as things stand, are in a very awkward position. Yes, they're a team that has made plenty of progress in international cricket over the past few years, but it is hard to ignore the fact that the country is now once again in the rule of the Taliban, which is, to put it politely, a regressive and very, very backwards thinking sort of a regime that has actually undone a lot of the good work that Afghanistan had put in over the past few years. And due to this, there is very much a risk that more teams now may just very well start boycotting or not playing matches against Afghanistan, because quite frankly, under the Taliban, the record of women's rights, human rights, and even children's rights is abhorrent, to say the least. And therefore, it seems very, very possible that now that Cricket Australia have taken a stance, other nations might well follow suit, and Afghanistan could find themselves in a situation where they are, pariahs in the international circuit. And in fact, if the ICC really do have to intervene, it puts them in a very awkward position, because on one hand, you have Cricket Australia, not only one of the richest boards in the world of cricket, but also taking a very correct moral stance in choosing not to normalize the rule of the Taliban in Afghanistan by engaging any sort of relations with them. On the other hand, Afghanistan is one of those few nations where cricket has really sprouted up over the coming years, and so the ICC would be keen to ensure that Afghanistan or cricket in Afghanistan does not come to a grinding halt. And one of the ways to do that would be to ensure that the Afghanistan cricket team actually plays more bilateral series. But they could very well be in a situation where few, if any, nations actually want to face them. And that is the entire dilemma that the Afghanistan Cricket Board and Afghanistan cricket as a whole will be facing very, very soon. I mean, on one hand, it's fair enough. You can understand why it is that players like Naveen-ul-Haq and Rashid Khan are actually choosing to, make very strong statements saying that you shouldn't be keeping politics with cricket. You should keep it out of it. You should be playing Afghanistan. It's not fair to the country. It's not fair to the cricketers. But on the same time, it is also a very valid stance by Cricket Australia, because their thing is that we don't want to be playing against Afghanistan, where the rulers of that state are actually undoing a lot of work when it comes to the kind of progress that Afghanistan had made previously when it comes to women's rights, children's rights, and in general human rights, and the general way that the country was run. We all know for a fact that the Taliban rule has in fact been brutal. The extent of it hasn't really come out in the open as of yet, because quite frankly, Western nations have washed their hands of the Afghanistan problem. But credit must go to Australia for actually taking such a stance, but it will leave the Afghanistan Cricket Board and Afghanistan cricket team as a whole in a very awkward position, because more teams may very well follow suit. But that's just how I feel about all of this. What do you guys think? Well, you can let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and tap that bell icon so you know when we're going live or uploading a new video for you guys. Then you can also go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And last but not least, download the AajTak app. Thank you all once again for joining us. I hope to see you with us